Once again, this video cannot be monetized, but it's important, very important. So I have intentionally disabled monetization on this video. Here we go. Are you a drunken child predator, Winston Frederick Sterzel? I've never heard you say you're not a drunken child molester. So what does that mean, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Watching your videos and looking at your X account, I have to wonder if the Chinese government kept this hidden for you just to avoid this type of news coming out of China. Winston Frederick Sterzel, you might ask, what kind of evidence supports you being a drunken pedophile? To begin with, it's no secret that you drink to excess. You have produced several videos of drinking to excess, Winston Frederick Sterzel, but also driving a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, Winston Frederick Sterzel. It's also very curious that in the more than 1,000 videos on your channel, you never mentioned Giraffe English Training Center, which is the only place you taught children. You never mentioned why you were fired from Giraffe English Training Center, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Why did you never teach children again after that, Winston Frederick Sterzel? After being fired from Giraffe, it's well known that you went on to a rapist school, right? Apparently you graduated because you went on to teach at the rapist school. Didn't you, Winston Frederick Sterzel?
So I was currently at this point in time here working for the rapist school.
My guess is you didn't need much training. Did you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? As a matter of fact, you even went on to become the trusted bodyguard of the leader of the rapist school, didn't you?
I was a bodyguard for a Chinese serial rapist.
Not to mention that you abruptly left China under mysterious circumstances. These are all well-known facts. When I am continuously reminded by the China Show and in your personal videos and posts on your X feed that the government of China hides these types of crimes because they don't want China to get a bad name.
The Chinese government has gone to great lengths to scrub the story from the internet.
It's not difficult to put two and two together, is it? Let's just compare these facts with the facts behind a recent post on your X feed, Winston Frederick Sterzel. With less evidence than I have just provided, you have reposted a story to claim it is a school mass stabbing. I spent a considerable amount of time looking this up. Other than 4 X posts, I can't find any trace of this story on the Chinese social media, Winston Frederick Sterzel. The story also seems to be absent from mainstream media in China and doesn't appear in Western mainstream media either, which I'm a little bit surprised by. Kind of reminds me of, what's that guy's name again? Adrian Zenz. Even though the guy has some strange religious beliefs and his stated mission in life is to destroy China, he fabricates some narrative for Western mainstream media. Later, when even one of these outlets runs with his story, he will quote that outlet when asked if he has any proof. Just like you. Hey, Winston Frederick Sterzel, maybe if enough people who wish it was a stabbing post and repost it on X, it'll gain enough traction on other media outlets, right? Getting back to that story that you reposted in your X feed. If you look, Winston Frederick Sterzel, you'll notice that the 2 videos provided in no way resemble a school in China. There's also no evidence that the 2 videos are even related to each other. Both videos do appear to include injured people. I'll give you that much. The first video appears to be on a farm somewhere. I'll cut out the part with the blood and show you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. There's also a big stick laying on the ground. Did he fall out of the tree, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Was this some kind of a farm injury, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Of course, if you are the type of person trying to prove that there are stabbings in China every day, you'll be quick to accept the story and repost it, adding your own comment. Won't you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Even though, Winston Frederick Sterzel, you have no evidence other than the 2 videos. The second video also seems like it might be on a farm. I'll cut the bottom from the video where the 2 children seem to have some light injuries. Being a China expert, you should know that people can't just ride into a schoolyard on their e-bikes, right? You see the e-bike there? There's also 2 half-naked men who appear in the video, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I thought for sure you would notice that, right? I've never seen half-naked men at a public school in China. Have you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Not to mention that every single school I've seen here in China is surrounded by fences of normally 3 meters tall, Winston Frederick Sterzel. Every single entrance has multiple security staff, which seems to be missing in the video, Winston Frederick Sterzel. But let me take your word for it, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I mean, even though in the past I've always been able to find multiple sources for stories that you claim are suppressed by the Chinese government, but I'll still take your word for it. Let's say that it is a stabbing incident at a school and the Chinese government is hiding it to protect China from being embarrassed. I suppose that it's just as believable as the Chinese government covering up drunken child molestation, right? Winston Frederick Sterzel? Obviously you won't be upset by me exposing this information, Winston Frederick Sterzel, because you know the difference between a question and a statement, right, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Just like if I ask you, is the moon green, Winston Frederick Sterzel? It's different from me saying like the moon is green, right? It's 2 different things. See the difference, Winston Frederick Sterzel?
So a lot of people cannot distinguish the difference between a question and a statement. Because if I were to ask you a question, for instance, is the moon green? It's different from me saying the moon is green. You see, it's 2 different things. See the difference?
I have ideas for 2 more fun and easy videos, Winston Frederick Sterzel. So in the interest of keeping this video as short as possible so I can get to those, Winston Frederick Sterzel, I'll end this video with a quote from none other than Donald Trump.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Be careful who you let in, USA.